Welcome to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. I'm Jeff DiVeronica with my co-host Steve Bradley. Been doing this show. I've been doing it for 20 years, Steve. You've been my co-host the last few and my former boss at Democratic Chronicle. And I say that to give our resume a little bit. So the Canisteo-Greenwood Redskins, for the time being, the Section 5 Class B flag football champions, know who we are. And first of all, we have with us Coach James Freeland, and some of the key players for Canisteo-Greenwood who had the opportunity to play in Bill's Stadium, Highmark Stadium, this week. We've got Lillian Mullen. She's a quarterback, defensive back, and a junior. Kylie Williamson, a running back and linebacker. And then another senior running back, linebacker, Sarah Coddington. So, ladies, first of all, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you.
And Coach Freeland, good to meet you. Steve, you saw this team play. Tell me what you thought about this defensive juggernaut that went 10-2 this year. And kind of neat though, Steve, the first ever flag football win in Section 5 was won by this group right here.
Yes, Jeff. I mean, it's a feel-good story. It's one of the smaller schools competing in Section 5 in flag football, if not the smallest. And they had to win 3 times, Jeff, in a span of 43 hours to earn the right to go to Orchard Park. Friday night, they defeated Monroe in the semifinals. Saturday, blanked Batavia in the Class B final. And then on Sunday morning, defeated Penfield in the crossover game and outscored their opponents on the weekend at Monroe Community College 38-0. So they did it in very impressive fashion. And then they got to go to Orchard Park on Monday night. So I think if the math was right, it was 4 games in the span of 73 hours.
First, Coach Freeland, congrats on all the success. How was the physical nature of these girls to go for a 4th game in that span of time? Was fatigue a factor at all on Monday night?
Absolutely. Our semifinal game got postponed because of the smoke and the air quality issues. We were supposed to play Tuesday and then Wednesday and then Thursday, and then finally got to play it on Friday. And so we knew that it was going to be a tough stretch. Just physically in terms of playing those many games back to back, in terms of the bus rides involved to get up to Rochester and then to get to Buffalo on Monday. These girls put a ton of time and a ton of work to get prepared. And, those were some really tough opponents. Those were some really quality opponents, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The scores, we shut them out, but those were really hard fought games back and forth. And the people who were there definitely can know that. So they put a lot into it over the weekend. And I think there was definitely a factor of, running out of gas a little bit on Monday, but Clarence is an absolute lights out team. And they 100% just took it to us on Monday, fatigue or not.
That was 39-0, just for the record.
Yeah.
But you had a heck of a day. And just, Steve, before you ask the next question, I wanted to at least get on the record here. Y'all didn't dress up for our interview. You were at a banquet of some sorts. We never have team players that dress like this for our interview. But Lillian, where were you all before this?
Well, I was there earlier, but then I left and went back home, so I changed.
All right, so Kylie's dressed up and Sarah's pretty dressed up too. So, but where were you? A sports banquet, or where were you?
It was for academic excellence, so we got awards for that.
Awesome! What a group, Steve.
So Coach Freeland's an English teacher, Jeff. And when word started to go around Section 5 last spring, spring of 22, maybe fall of 21, Sarah and Kylie were in his class and kind of were lobbying him to come out and coach if Canisteo-Greenwood got a team. Sarah, what's your recollection of how this whole team came together, and why were you excited to maybe get Canisteo-Greenwood on the board with the football team?
Well, when it first started to become like a thing that flag football was actually going to be like not a sport, but last year it was like a club thing. I got called down to the
Athletic director.
Yeah, the athletic director's office, and he was telling me about it, and he just said because we had a pumpkin bowl. I don't know if you know what that is, but like the juniors and senior girls play like a flag football game for like 30 minutes or something, and the whole school just watches. And he said that I did really good at that, so he just told me about how we're going to start a team and said that I should join.
It's pretty cool. Now, Coach, you have football coaching in your background. So tell us a little about that.
So yeah, I grew up. My dad was a football coach. He started the youth football program here in the late '60s and early '70s. He was a high school coach when I was a kid, and I started coaching with him when I was 18. Took over as a varsity head coach here in 2005, and then left here in 2010. I coached at Alfred University, and then retired from that in 2021. And these ladies and our athletic director got me back into coaching to take over flag football.
So Kylie, what did you like about playing? You were running back, linebacker. What was fun about it for you?
Kind of just the whole team aspect. It felt like everyone was really dedicated and we all really cared about improving as a whole instead of individual. And it just, that type of team connection kind of just made me want to do it another year because we all got along so good. And it was like a first time. So
Did you play other sports?
yeah, I play soccer and track also.
And then who was the basketball player? Lillian, basketball, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are runner-up Class C2 to Oakville, Alabama. And then Sarah, do you play other sports?
Yeah, I play soccer, track, and basketball.
So what did you have classes this week? Are you having classes? Okay. What's it been like in school? I mean, is everyone pretty wired that you all are champs? I mean, you beat Batavia, you beat Penfield. I mean, Penfield's, Clarence is a big school, about six, coach, we talked before the interview, about 6 times bigger than Canisteo-Greenwood, but Penfield's pretty big compared to Canisteo-Greenwood too. Are you all walking around like the queens of the school right now? Lillian, tell me about that. What's it like?
A little bit. I think everyone is just excited that they got to go to the Bills Stadium with us and watch.
But Kylie, talk about Saturday. You won, and then it's Crazy Days in Canisteo, right? So there's a town festival going on. You guys come home, you get fire trucks, and you get the big welcome home.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, especially with that going on, our community is just really feels really close right now and they really support everything we're doing. So a lot of people showed up for us and it felt really good to see that.
Let's talk about Lillian a little bit because she was the quarterback for the team. And in the sectional final game against Batavia, she threw for 3 touchdown passes in a 20-0 win. I believe had 2 interceptions. And then in the Penfield game, Kylie had a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. Sarah had a touchdown on the opening drive. Lillian had 4 interceptions. So Lillian, what's more fun, throwing a touchdown pass or intercepting a pass in the end zone?
Oh, I don't know. I gotta say probably a touchdown pass just to get more points on the board, but I love getting interceptions.
How did you all figure out what positions you were going to play? Let me ask you. Let's start with Sarah. Did you know you were going to be a running back and a linebacker? How did y'all figure that? Did you say, I want to try out for this position, or did the coaches kind of put you where they thought you would fit best?
To be honest, I kind of expected to be a running back because me and Kylie are like probably the fastest, or at least the top fastest in the school. So I just expected that one of us or both of us would have that position.
Did y'all run track or anything like that before, or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you dual sport this spring? Were you playing both football and track, or did you have to make a choice?
Me and Kylie both did.
You were able to do dual. That's great. Right?
And don't let them be modest either, fellas. They both made state qualifiers in track. So they were state qualifiers in track, and they were sectional champions in football. They would never say that about themselves, but I want to make sure they know that everybody knows that.
Wow.
So did it take much convincing to get you back to coaching football, Coach? I mean, they said they came and convinced you, but how much lobbying did it take?
It took a decent bit. My assistant coach, Colin Button, he's the girls varsity soccer coach. He's the girls JV basketball coach. And he was in my room one day and we were talking about it, and I've never coached girls before. So that was not something I was, necessarily not keen on, but, knew a lot about, and given his experience with that, we were talking about it, and they had talked with Coach Button about, potentially looking at coaching flag football. And we decided in the end, we would kind of do it together. But yeah, the girls were pretty insistent on their relatively daily visits talking about flag football. And, have you seen the jerseys? We have jerseys. The jerseys are here. And so it took a little bit of convincing, but, I'm really glad that we made that decision. I'm really glad Coach Button helped talk me into it. because it's been an incredible experience these last 2 years with these ladies.
Steve, let's
Yep.
take a quick break.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about we want to hear all about what it was like going to Orchard Park, who you got to meet, what you got to do, and then we'll talk about the Redskins are going to become a new nickname. Now, I love the nickname, and I love the set. This is the best set anyone's ever had for an interview on our show in the history in 20 years. Now, for 17 of those years, it was just a radio show. We didn't have any video, but in the last 3 years, this is lights out the best set anyone's ever had for our show. So thank you for that. You're watching us right here on YouTube, the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Take a quick break, come back, talk more.
Looking for a used truck? Can you find one out of 350? At BobJohnsonAutoGroup.com, you'll find one. Love SUVs? 800 are waiting for you to take one home at BobJohnsonAutoGroup.com. Add 350 pre-owned sedans, and you've got a total of 1,500 used vehicles only at BobJohnsonAutoGroup.com.
Bob Johnson's got your ride. Bob Johnson.
While we celebrate 140 years of serving our community, the kind of delicious joy that lasts a lifetime, we look forward to serving you for 140 more. With hardworking, wholehearted, passionate people who will help shape new memories for generations to come.
Have you visited Roberts Wesleyan University yet? The time is now to choose your own time to get a customized visit. You'll get a feel for the university, meet a current student over lunch, tour the campus, and more. You can set up a visit anytime and any day that works for you. Schedule your visit at roberts.edu/visit. At Roberts Wesleyan University, we want to make your visit twice as rewarding. Be one of the first 500 students to visit campus and receive a $100 Amazon gift card. To qualify, the traditional undergraduate student must attend an on-campus admissions event or personalize a visit to campus with at least 3 activities. 1 gift card per student. For more information, visit roberts.edu/visit.
You don't choose to get hurt at work, but you can choose the workers' comp attorneys at Connors and Ferris to fight for your money and medical benefits you deserve.
With over 20 years of industry experience, we will give your case our undivided attention so that you and your family can focus on your recovery.
So call Connors and Ferris, the workers' comp attorneys dedicated to fighting for injured workers' rights.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
The best 3 things here at McQuaid are definitely the sports, the brotherhood, and the service to community. I think that's a really big, important thing that McQuaid stresses, which is part of creating a better and great man. You definitely feel a connection with your fellow students here. It's being all guy school. You're able to relate to each other on a personal level, and everyone's very welcoming here with open arms and willing to be your friend.
Local McDonald's operators care about our local schools, teams, and student athletes. That's why they support the return of high school athletics in the Rochester area and around the state. See you before or after the big game at McDonald's. Welcome back, Section 5. Game on!
Protecting your home's worth pays off when you trust the experienced team at American Custom. We've all seen our homes go up in value, making home improvements a wise choice. If you think your home is worth a lot now, just wait until our team is done with it. Call American today.
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. We have the Canisteo-Greenwood girls flag football team, champions in Class B of Section 5, and also regional qualifiers. They whooped Penfield 18-0 to get it, earn a chance to go to Orchard Park and play against Clarence. And they lost in that game, but what a season it was. You see the the football there. Is that from the Section 5 championship game, Coach? What is that? Or is that something from the
That
Bills?
was actually from the regional championship in Buffalo. The Bills gave those to both football teams that played on Monday night.
All right, Kylie, take us through the trip to Orchard Park. What was it like? Who did you get to meet? What time did you get there? What was it like?
Jeez.
Oh.
Honestly, it's all kind of a
Since
blur.
you all seem so relaxed.
Yeah. Honestly, it felt like a dream. It didn't even feel real. Like as soon as we pulled up, we were treated like VIPs basically. We got to walk through the tunnels. They took like videos of us walking in. We got to wave at the camera, and then we got to like our own lockers in the locker room, and we met a few people, which was pretty cool. Got a bunch of pictures and got a free t-shirt, which is also fun. So
Steve, a
So
few
they
people
say a few people. I saw pictures of Dawson Knox. I saw Dion Dawkins, and I saw Dalton Kincaid. Did you guys get to interact with that group of people at all?
yeah, we did. Honestly, they were like, it didn't even seem like they were part of the Bills team though, because they were so friendly and just like welcoming. They just felt like we were talking to regular people.
They're just young goofballs, just like us, right?
Yeah.
Just like you, right? They really are. They're big kids. They're big kids. Sarah, I mean, are any of you Bills fans? Did you all know who? I mean, Dawson Knox is pretty dreamy, right? I think he's a good-looking guy, and he's a heck of a player, and he's a really nice guy. So, what was that like meeting those guys?
To be honest, I'm not the type of girl who watches football every Sunday, but I recently started dating a person who very much is. So now I know more about that.
Well, welcome to the rest of your life. Welcome to the rest of your life, Sarah. Steve, pretty good. Steve, you know this. The Bills though were really all in on this, right, Steve?
They were, and they've been in it from the beginning. The Bills, the Giants, and the Jets have helped the New York State Public High School Athletic Association. If you remember when we had Dr. Zayas on earlier this year, they pinpointed 3 sports to help increase participation in athletics in New York State: girls wrestling, game day cheer, and flag football. So I actually was speaking to Jen Lipinski, the coordinator for Section 5 up there, and she just reiterated that, you know, the state and Section 5 couldn't have done what they did without the support of the NFL teams, including the Bills. So great community service piece right there. Coach Freeland, how about you? As you know, a dad and a guy that grew up in Western New York, probably been to games as a fan, probably suffered through some of the things we've all suffered through. What was it like to stand on those sidelines and call plays?
It was pretty surreal. You know, when we first arrived, like the girls said, and went in the locker room, and you know, to be in the Bills locker room and see the girls with their own lockers, and then to walk down the tunnel and be on the field. Coach Button and myself were very fortunate last year. All 3 of these young ladies actually were selected to represent Section 5 in a Section 5 versus Section 6 scrimmage game that took place at the Bills Broncos game in August. So I got to coach on the field in August. That was in front of a crowd full of Bills fans, several thousand people. It was a little bit different on Monday, but it's just an incredible experience, you know, to sit there. And at one point I remember looking at Coach Button, I just said, how did we get here? You know, how did this happen? And, you know, it's just a testament to these young ladies and also to the Bills. You know, Preston Teague and everybody at the Buffalo Bills has been so just essential in getting this sport out there to the public. They have given these girls so many opportunities. They were invited to training camp last year as guests of the Bills. They had their own special like autograph section after practice where the players were just interacting with them and doing autographs and pictures with them. They got to go to the preseason game last year, and some girls got to play in the scrimmage. And it's just been, you know, remarkable what they've done to help increase the awareness of this sport and to really get it out there to give more girls this opportunity.
Well, let me jump in with this, Steve, because I feel like we haven't talked enough football with this group yet. And you're football players, okay? I don't want to make sure no one says, "Oh, they interviewed these players, they didn't talk football." So Lillian, you're the quarterback. You got to be the spokesperson a little bit. I guess what's it like to be a quarterback and to be the one that's in control of everything? I mean, that's not easy to do. Did you feel natural going behind the center and playing quarterback?
Yeah, I knew kind of right away I wanted to play quarterback just because
I like kind of just like calling the plays and like getting it set up. And like when we actually complete it or do like a good play, it just feels really good. And I like being in the huddles and telling everyone like what the play is going to be.
So I'm going to play Coach Freeland here and Jeff, call her out for being too modest again. She's not just the quarterback. She's not just the safety. She's the punter. And she threw an absolute dime to Kylie for the second touchdown on a slant pattern. It was a 6-0 game in the second half against Penfield. And she lofted the ball over the defense. Kylie made a great catch in stride. I'm thinking it was probably a 35-yard play. Kylie, where'd you learn to throw?
I've always grew up
Lillian, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I've always grown up playing catch with like my family and friends, and it's just kind of natural. I played softball too.
So do you know
Kylie,
who
where'd
Josh
you learn
Allen
to
is?
catch? That was a great pattern. I mean, you couldn't have drawn that up any better.
Do you watch football though, Lillian? Are you a Bills fan?
Yeah,
Do you
I
know
watch
Josh?
football.
Okay. How about you, Kylie? Do you watch football?
Yeah.
Okay. Coach, break it down for us. What were they good at? Just, defensively, was it speed? Was it, play calling? Offensively, what were some of the strengths of this group? And you can't just say speed. It's got to be more than speed.
It's definitely more than speed. We're not very big, right? But we are fast. And we made a point of trying to accentuate that this year. One of the big changes and things that we looked at from last year when we just kind of started out was we thought things might have been a little too complicated. And, we were trying to do a little bit too much rather than just let athletes be athletes. That's one of the lessons I learned from a football coach many years ago was, well, we used to say Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's, but I don't know what we would say now, I guess. Jill's and Sarah's, not X's and O's. I don't know, but, that was the first part, was just letting these ladies be athletic and do the things they can do. And they've done a great job of rolling with our adjustments, whether it's at halftime of a game, with flag football, we only have 2 timeouts for the whole game. And being a small team, we don't get a chance to, have the defense come over and to talk about that last drive. We kind of got to do it all at halftime. And, at halftime, we pull out the board and we draw it up. We talk about what we're going to do. And it's a great credit to them that they're not just great athletes, but they are incredibly intelligent and driven young ladies who just have taken that in and put it into practice. We do our best to put our best players in a position to make plays. And that, it worked really well for us this year. And, but it really comes down to their willingness to, to take coaching, to take criticism, and to know that it's all about getting better.
So, Kylie, let's ask you this one. What's it been like? Do you guys get many fans at the games? Is it still developing? I know my school, Irondequoit High School, not a ton. I mean, certainly not as much as like the boys basketball games and all that, but are you building a following? What's it like at Canisteo-Greenwood?
I definitely say we're building a following, especially when we first started. It seemed like there wasn't very many just because it wasn't as popular. But as we keep going, we've had a lot of younger interest. Like I've had girls in younger grades saying that they want to do it because they've seen us. And I've seen like a bunch of people from our community like drive 2 hours just to watch us play, which is really cool. So it's definitely growing in interest. And I think that really like helps develop it.
Sarah, do you feel like a role model? Because you all are role models for little girls. Do you feel like that or no?
I feel like the girls that are super young right now and can't try out for the team yet, they definitely are going to remember like the team right now. So yeah, I think
How big is your roster, Coach? How big was it?
18.
18. And how was that compared to last year?
Last year, I think we had 16, I think. So, we bumped up. We added a few new players this year. We had 2 seniors last year who graduated, but all 3 of these ladies all played last year. Kylie and Sarah as juniors and Lillian as a sophomore. And, we've got a good group of sophomores coming back. We do have, like I said, 9 seniors, but we do have a good group of ladies coming back. And, we're hoping with the interest we have and that we've built, we had some girls who were thinking about it and who signed up and then weren't sure. And I think what they saw these ladies do is definitely going to inspire not just, the girls who are in high school right now, but I know my own daughter is in 7th grade and is already talking about when she can try out for flag football. Coach Buttons daughter is in 8th grade and next year can't wait to try out for flag football. So, what these girls have done, and again, the way the community's really embraced them, they have built a following over the course of the last 2 years. When it started, people kind of thought it was maybe going to be a little gimmicky, this thing to get girls out and play football. And then they came and watched it and realized it's real football. These girls, and they don't have pads on, and they're on the turf and they're diving for tackles, and they're really out there competing. And I think that kind of struck a chord with people, and the communities embrace them, and hopefully we just keep making the program bigger and bigger over the next few years.
Speaking of the community, y'all are going to be called a different nickname in a couple weeks. When we hit July 1, Redskins is being retired. That's a state of New York rule now. So any nicknames that are impacting Native Americans and Indigenous people have to be changed now. That's a New York State Public High School Athletic Association. Actually, I beg your pardon, it's a state education department rule.
Yep.
And I didn't know the nicknames when we started this call, but let's see, spokesperson quarterback Lillian, what is the new nickname going to be for Canisteo-Greenwood?
Canisteo-Greenwood Chargers.
I like the ring of it. What do you all think of it? Do you like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's different, but we'll like it eventually more, I think, once we see logos and stuff.
Well, it goes, Coach mentioned before we start, again, the C and the G, pretty cool. And you're somebody's working on a logo for you. So that's pretty neat. Coach, what's the community? What do they feel about it? What's it been like? I know it's been a process to get to the name. Was there other names you knew of? And what were some other runner-up names that were out there?
So yeah, we started off, we basically, the community and students were allowed to submit suggestions. And then there was a voting process over the course of roughly a month where the students in the district voted, and then the top vote getters moved on each week. We had obviously the Chargers. The finals were between the Chargers and the Red Dragons. Then we also had the Condors, which is a bird that we have here locally. The Coyotes. Coyotes. To me, they're the Coyotes.
Thunder.
The Thunder was one based on the railroad history in the area. The Red Hawks, the Fire Hawks.
A lot of hawks.
A lot of hawks, a lot of birds. And trying to incorporate things that related to the school colors, because that was one thing that was established early, was not going to change, the school colors. So anything that we wanted to go with, we knew had to go with the red and white. And I think, I think the Chargers is going to work out really well. I think it's going to grow on people. And I think as we move forward and, work our way through, it's just going to become what it is. It's going to become our mascot, and people aren't even going to look back at what we used to be.
Charlie the Charger. I think that should be the name of the mascot. Charlie the Charger, right? Steve Bradley's back. He's back in. We talked a little about mascots, Steve. So we know it's going to be the Chargers, not the Red Dragons or the Hawks. I will say it's kind of neat though that y'all had some local ties. That would have been cool. Obviously, unless there's a power plant down there that I'm unaware of, it's not Chargers. It's not having to do with that. So, but it's really cool, and I think it has a nice ring to it. Canisteo-Greenwood Chargers. And last question, a lot of people don't even know how far south, how long does it take to drive to Rochester?
It takes us to get to MCC was about an hour and 20 minutes.
And how long does it take to get to the PA line?
The PA line is about 5 or 10 minutes.
That's what Canisteo-Greenwood is, folks. It's down there, and Section 5 is the biggest section in the state geographically and the number of schools. And obviously, we're happy you're in Section 5, and we're able to talk about it right here on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Mr. Bradley, any parting thoughts other than thanks for being here?
Yeah, I did want to ask a question about the history, Jeff, because we've seen girls basketball grow exponentially in our time. We've seen girls lacrosse grow exponentially in our time. And I think that flag football, which went from 6 teams in year 1 to 19 teams, they're hoping for 30 next year, is going to grow. So Canisteo-Greenwood will always have a piece of history in Section 5, winning the first game ever, being the first Class B champion, the first overall section champion. Lillian, what do you think about that? What that might mean down the road, that, whatever happens from here on out, you and your teammates are going to be a part of history?
I've thought about it, but it doesn't seem real yet. But like to be able to in like 10, 20 years look back and tell people like I was a part of the first team that won sectionals and made this possible. It's just like it's cool to think about.
Hey, who knows? Maybe your children, there'll be college scholarships for girls football, flag football. We always ask our seniors, what's next? Do you know what's next yet, Kylie and Sarah, for your future next? Where will you be a year from now? Do you know?
I'm almost 100% sure that I'm gonna be attending Houghton University next year, and I'm also considering joining the track and field team as well. I'm not
And
sure
they've got a
what my
fabulous-
major is gonna be though.
Fabulous facility there, Jeff, with a lot of money donated by the Pagulas.
Interesting. Good to know. How about you, Kylie?
I'm planning on going to Brockport for exercise science to hopefully do PT, but I'm hoping that there's some type of football club because I really want to keep going in that direction. I think it's really fun.
She's got the football bug, and then we know
Yeah.
Sarah's dating a guy that's the football. We're gonna watch football now, so. And then Lillian will still be slinging footballs next spring. So,
Yep.
well, listen, thank you so much for making the time. We know it's a late interview, folks. You don't realize it. I think they're still at either at school or the banquet facility, wherever you are. Coach Freeland, great to meet you, and congrats on the success, ladies. Well done on the interview and on the season. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Steve Bradley, well done. Good get, buddy. Good get.
Thanks. And it was a lot of fun to watch him play. And I can't wait to see how much this sport continues to grow as well.
We are both girl dads. His daughter's graduating from Penfield, by the way. So you got it over on his daughter.
Oh, gee.
She didn't play though. She wasn't on the team. But and my daughter's 9, so she's big into dance. We'll see if she wants to play football one day. Anyway, thank you, Canisteo-Greenwood. Congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
For Steve Bradley and my co-host and our producer, Joe Brott, I'm Jeff DiVeronica. Thanks for watching us right here on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.